Hi there, I hope you are well today. I am answering random questions about my 20s, the mistakes that I needed, the mess ups, and all the chaos that went on in my 20s. So, if you feel like you might enjoy this, sit right back and let's chat. So, question number one is, what's something you regret but also kind of glad it happened? Something I regret. I can't think of anything that I regret right now because for me, I always try as much as I can to not regret because I feel like regret is just a wasted and negative energy. Because I know that if, for example, I say that I regret being pregnant before getting married, that means that I am also taking away the fact that I have my kids that I love so much. So for me, I try to pivot from the choices that I've made because I think the reason why we regret sometimes is because we think that if we did not make this choice and we made a different one, life would have been much better. But to be honest, there is no way of knowing if the choice that you made or the choice that you did not make could have been better than the choice that you made. With the choice that you made, you have the evidence of what has happened. You see how things have turned out, but you have no way of knowing what would have happened if you have taken a different route. So I don't really have regrets. I think I'm just grateful for being where I am. My 20s were really tough, but I feel like God was with me through each and every step of the way. And I'm just so grateful that that decade is over and now I'm in my beautiful 30s. Okay. Let's go to question number two. What was your most delulu phase in your 20s? I think the most delulu phase was trying to make it work with my ex, the father of my child. I wanted it to work so hard, even though I knew deep down that I should let this person go. I tried to force things so much. So I feel like I was so delulu. I really was hoping for the best. I was really so scared of being judged for being a single mom that I tried to make it work, even though it was clear that it will never work because we are totally different people and we're going in total different directions. So I think that was my delulu era. But now I'm here. No longer delulu. Question number three is, what's one relationship that changed your view on love? One relationship that changed my view on love. I think I must say the relationship with my kids. I think the relationship with my kids, because when I had my kids, I started to realize that the love from your kids is so pure, it is so beautiful, it is unconditional, and honestly, it is really difficult to get unconditional love from people. And one thing that I've learned in my 20s is also I must not have unconditional love for people because people are not perfect. And if someone is breaking my heart, I must not just hold on just because I love them. I must love them from a distance and allow myself to move away from those spaces, because unconditional love is the one that you should have for your kids and also for yourself. But for the other gender, I am not so sure. Okay. Question number 4. What's the most broke but happy moment you remember? I don't remember being broke. I remember being broke, but I don't miss being broke. I don't think I enjoyed my life when I was broke because I would just sit at home and watch movies. So no, I wouldn't recommend being broke, and there's nothing I miss about being broke. There are times where I'm broke even right now, but I feel like most of the time I have the plan, or I'm broke for things that I want, not the things that I need. And being broke in your 20s is really not fun. I remember this other time, there is this guy who was a principal in some school in Cape Town, Guguletu, and he approached me and he wanted me to date him, and he was so old, and he was like manipulating me, telling me that I have to date him because if you can look at my bank balance now, I'm probably broke and I don't have money to buy myself sanitary towels. And I really didn't have money. I was super broke, but I told myself that God will make a plan and I will not allow myself to go and date sugar daddies just because I am broke. So I would never recommend being broke, and there's nothing fun about being broke. So that is one thing that I've learned in my 20s, and I'm so glad that God came through for me and blessed me with a job, and that my friends also, during the time where I was broke, they were always coming through for me, helping me with anything that I needed, and also my family. So I'm grateful, but being broke, goodbye. Question number 5, what's fashion or beauty trend do you low-key miss? No, I don't think I miss any trend from the past, because I feel like the fashion industry is getting better now. What was nice in the past? The blazers. Oh, what? Because I remember there were times where we used to wear like stockings and then shorts on top of that. No, I think the fashion before was horrible. Now it's much better. So I don't miss anything from the past. But I think I love that with the new generation, they really embrace their natural hair. They embrace their bare face. Because I remember before there was a time where people were not even able to get out of their houses without wearing makeup. But for me, I was always that girl who goes out without makeup, because I was really bad at doing my own makeup. I think I'm still not good at it even right now. But I love that with the new generation, they embrace their natural curls, their natural afros, their natural skin, and they're not afraid to go out there and be themselves. And I think that is one thing that I love about the new generation, the younger ladies. They love being authentically themselves, even though we have the weaves and the makeup that has all the contouring and whatever that they have. But I think in this generation, more girls embrace their natural hair and skin. Oh, but also there's BBL, my God. But I'm not judging anyone. Okay, who were you trying to impress the most, and did it work? In my 20s, the people that I used to try to impress were the people that I was dating. Like my boyfriend, I'd want my boyfriend to approve of the things that I'm wearing, my hairstyles. I'd want them to approve, and that is something that I'm really so grateful that I have overcame, and now I do things for myself. But before, I think it was my boyfriend back then. But yeah, I think that was just my boyfriend. There's no one that I think I tried to impress. I think I've never been really I think I've never been I think I've never been easily influenced by my friends. So I'd never, for an example, smoke just because my friends are smoking. I'd never drink whiskey just because my friends are drinking that. But with the boyfriend, I would be easily influenced. So I think I always wanted to impress my boyfriend with whether it's something I am wearing or trying new things at the restaurant. But that's it, and I'm not even proud of that. It's really embarrassing. Okay, and it never worked. It never works. So you're trying to impress someone. I think people know when you are faking it and you're not being authentically yourself, and it doesn't help. So stop trying to impress people and instead try to impress God and yourself. What's one thing you were too scared to do and wish you had done sooner? I think I've always been so scared of doing public speaking. Even in high school, I remember I was so scared of going in front of the class to read a book, and as a result, in my first interview, I almost cried. I was so nervous, I was so scared. One of the interviewers cracked a joke and I didn't laugh because I was not even in the moment. I was not listening. I was worried about how I look, how I sound, my accent, everything about me, instead of focusing on being of service. So I feel like if I had faced my fears even back in high school or in my 20s and allowed myself to speak in public, allowed myself to face the fears, I would have been so far by now. But like I said, or like I always say, everything happens when it is supposed to happen. Everything that happens to us that is not so good is probably trying to teach us a lesson. So I allow the lessons to come true. I welcome them. And I always remind myself that the best time to plant a tree was 5 years ago, but the second best time is right now. So if there's something that you wish you would have done, you could have done 5 years ago, but you couldn't, and now you still have the chance, then today's the day where you need to go out there and start that process and go on your lane. Stop comparing yourself with other people. Allow yourself to be you, to do you, and track your progress, not comparing it with other people, but comparing it with the version you were yesterday. What did you believe about success in your 20s that turned out to be wrong? I used to think that success is having a fancy car, fancy house, and a good marriage. But now what I know about success is you get to define what is success for you, and you get to cultivate what you feel like is important for you. And now I am in a stage where I realize that success does not look the same for all of us. Some people don't want a sports car. Instead, they want to go out and travel and see the world. Some people don't want to be bosses or CEOs, but instead they want to be their own bosses, to have their businesses, to be entrepreneurs and do something that is different. So right now I know that you define success and you set the goals for yourself and you try to achieve that for yourself. Do what works for you. Okay. And then question number 9, what's one thing you nailed in your 20s? One thing I nailed in my 20s were really bad, so I don't know if I nailed anything. I think one thing that I nailed was finally getting over a guy who broke my heart and just moving on and choosing myself, choosing peace, and knowing that being a single mom is not the end of the world. So I think that is one thing that I nailed in my 20s, because right now, no, I know it could have never worked, right? And I'm grateful that I chose to just walk away and choose myself and choose peace. Okay? But my 20s were really hard, so that's a difficult one for me. Okay, last question. If your 20s were a movie, what title would it be? I think if my 20s were the movie, the title would be The Chaos, the Mgowo, before the light at the end of the tunnel. I feel like now in my 30s, I'm starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm starting to see why things happened the way they happened. I'm starting to see where I'm going, the direction of my life. And I feel like in my 20s, I was clueless. I was out of control. It was messy. It was chaotic. It was busy. It was difficult. And I'm just so grateful that I got the lessons from my 20s, like the strength, the resilience, and I got to realize that I have to work on myself. I got to realize that there were places or there were parts of me that were broken that needed healing. And now in my 30s, I am doing that healing journey. I am loving myself. I am more confident in myself. I am more trusting to myself. Damn, in my 30s, I am even able to go and have solo dates and solo trips. That is something that I would have never tried in my 20s. So I think 30s and 20s, in fact, any age is just beautiful. So embrace where you are, learn where you can learn from, try as much as you can to not have regrets, and know that you can always pivot from a choice that you have made, that each and every day is a new beginning, and you get to choose again. You get to try and be a different version of yourself again. You get to forgive, you get to let go, you get to try again. I hope this helps. Let me know in the comment section below, what do you think? Thank you so much for your time and your energy. I love you so much. Have a day as beautiful as you are. Next time, bye.